Sound like Chuck Norris.
No, I gotta tie him down every now and then. Yeah, I have no problem with that.
He was very committed with that thing. I mean, he would take it off and he'd have bruises on his hands and he wouldn't care, he wouldn't complain.
That thing,
and it looked like, dang, that looks painful. Yeah,
it is,
but he didn't say anything, he just kept going with it.
Yeah, honey, she's right. It is a painful little bugger. And you have it on there all day long, so you know, every now and then you try to get it off, get some air in there and relax and stretch your arm out, your hands. But yeah, if it were cold in Atlanta, that would be nice. I wouldn't mind wearing it.
We never wave at Michael Rooker because that would just be showing off.
Okay. Question right here.
For the young ladies, when I was growing up, many of us, zombies were not as popular as today. There are a few good movies that didn't have to movies that not good. How do you feel about zombies being so popular? And how do you feel about you being part of that culture?
Certainly an honor. There's been a lot of phases. There's been vampires, there's been werewolves, and then there's zombies. And I have a feeling zombies aren't going to be just a phase. It's going to be a culture. Yeah. I guess. It's not going to come and go like a lot of phases like vampires. I think zombies are going to be here for a while. And I'm glad to be part of it.
I think that it's really cool because lots of the other phases like come and go, like vampires, ghosts, werewolves, thank you, ghosts, demons, prisoners. But now, right now, zombies are taking over, so they can make as many of those other phase movies as they run, but zombies rock.
I don't like them myself. I'd rather just kill them all.
Question right here. Right here.
This is for the younger ones. Are your parents on the set, and if they are, do they put any restrictions on you on certain parts of the screenplays?
Okay, the question for those that didn't hear was for the girls, where are their parents on the set and are they given any restrictions on the screenplays?
My mom always would read the script first, just in case there was like bad things in there, and I'd always be itching to read it too because every time a script comes out, we're all just like when's it gonna come out? And so there wasn't exactly a time where my mom would restrict me because time didn't come for that. But I think if there were something to come up, if Sophia were to have lived, that she would need to put a restriction on, she would talk to the producers about it. But she died, so. Oh well.
So there weren't that many really restrictions for me because I didn't really get a script. But I kind of told them right when I got there. But I think AMC handled most of the restrictions, like when Penny ran out of the cage, they used Savannah to do that so that I wouldn't hurt my neck because I think I'm too young to do stunts. So that was like the only restriction.
Thank you!
Who else has a question? Over here on the wall.
This is for Michael. What do you say about the Bears?
Yeah. You already know that answer. Fuck the Bears. Okay, that's $6 I owe you.
Actually, it's 8.
You weren't even there when I said those.
Crack it down. You're on the microphone. I can hear it.
Hustling, honey.
Man, I gotta lose all my money here.
Guys, just so you know, there's a few seats open up here for people standing in the back if you want to come up. Get comfortable. Right here?
Yeah.
audition for a part but get something else?
What was the question?
Did any of you audition for a part and get something else?
You audition for this?
Yes. Let me step right up on this one. The answer is yes, absolutely. I auditioned. My very first shot at The Walking Dead was for a character named Merle. And thankfully they hired Michael Rooker. But then they brought me in for a character they didn't even have a name for yet, but it was Merle's brother. And they didn't even have dialogue written for Merle's brother, so you would come in and do Merle's dialogue for Merle's brother. So it was confusing. I'm like, well, are they twins? Are they? You want me to say the same things I said last week? Or okay. And then finally, and thankfully they hired Norman Reedus. My God. Yeah, that was second season. So finally the third season, I guess they found something for me to get rid of.
Yeah, that does happen.
And you know, I think that, it happened in the second season. First season, we didn't know the show was going to be such a phenomenon like it is now. I auditioned for T-Dog, The Walking Dead. So I knew exactly who my character was first season. Then the show just took off. And then they started doing that, tricking people and stuff like that. So,
yeah, because I was the one that got tricked.
You got tricked too?
My character's name was Mouse.
Mouse?
But when I got to the set, somebody else's character's name was Mouse. Big Tiny. I know y'all remember Big Tiny. So yeah, you know, sometimes they try to cover a lot of things, but you know, once we sign that contract, I ain't saying nothing. I think the hardest part to this job is getting a job and not saying anything for like 4 months until the show comes out. So that was really hard for me.
Yeah, my process was interesting. I knew I was auditioning for Michonne, but she wasn't called Michonne because it was such a top secret that they were even auditioning a Michonne. So she was called Lily. And you know, on the page of the sides, she was called Lily. And on my contract, she's called Lily, because they were trying to really keep it locked down, because they did not want it known that anyone was auditioning for Michonne. And so even it was like a month-long process of auditioning, and even during that time, it was like, you're not allowed to say that you're auditioning for this woman. So yeah, it was pretty locked down.
I forgot to mention I also went in for Lily.
I saw you.
Might have been Tiger Lily.
Hey, my good friend in the front row.
I'd just like to take the opportunity to commend the wonderful show, Walking Dead. For you guys to keep outdoing yourself each time. I had the pleasure of meeting you a year and a half to 2 years ago. You guys got better. Your extended family. You see all the love here you get at Monster Mania. I'm telling you, I'm so excited for you guys, because if people have been reading, you guys are making unparalleled achievement for a TV show that's on cable. Do you know, last week and the week before, you guys passed the regular networks? The #1 show on Sunday night at 9 o'clock slot. And I just say to you, I know you guys, and I was hoping y'all could share with us, have you heard any inside information about actors who may be A-list or legendary actors who are also trying to bid to get parts on your show? Because I was out in California and everybody's talking about it. They wish they could do a zombie role. So can you share that with us? If any of the names, any of the well-known actors that might have...
You don't need him. Michael Rooker, he's already on the show.
Yeah! Scott Wilson.
What I meant is Michael and Scott Wilson, they're legendary. We know about them. But I'm just saying, I thought there might be some, because I understand there might be other actors that didn't make it. And I was hoping y'all could share that with us.
You know, Tom Cruise was turned down.
And Eddie Murphy.
Al Pacino, I was up for it, but...
Tyler Perry.
I heard Sly came in the other day, and they wouldn't even let him in the door.
You know, we knew, we still couldn't tell you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It means a lot.
Okay, question right here.
My question is to Mr. Rooker. From
Good question. You know, I think Merle's influence on the audience happened quite quickly. The very moment I was on that rooftop shooting heads off zombies, you realize this cat has issues. It's so true. You know, everybody's like, Merle is such a bigot and racist. And you know what? I debate with people all the time because I tell them, you know, that day when Merle's out there shooting heads off zombies, it did not matter one little bit if it were a black man, yellow man, green man, or purple man that came up there and told them to stop. They were going to get their asses kicked. And that was what it was. You know, it could have been anybody. It could have been the little kid with the hat on. Hell, Merle would have gotten out there and kicked him in the face. Get out of my way, little boy. So anyway, from that moment, the first episode, it was like, who is this disgustingly bigot, cliche, racist Merle Dixon guy, right? And I had Twitters and texts from my southern kin, and people were like, such a cliche, Rooker, come on, you're better than this. And I'm like, uh-huh. And then the next episode, they had to eat their words, you know. In the next episode, when I did the monologue on top of the roof, before I cut my hand off, everybody ate their words. Because that 4.5 minutes kicked ass. And Frank Darabont, thank you. And from then on, you know Merle was coming back. You just didn't know when. And everything that, Merle became the boogeyman. Everything that happened, Merle did it. Revenge, Merle led the zombies up for that first zombie raid. Yeah, Merle shot the little kid. All this stuff, and then of course, actually, when you think about it, Merle saved T-Dog. Oh yeah, my drugs saved your life. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My little stash.
Merle did it all.
Hey, I got the good stuff. Anyway, yeah. So I think this character's had quite an influence on the audience, and that's why by the time I came back in the third season, it was quite anticipated.
Well anticipated.
Yeah. We've had fun with this last season. Oh God, yeah. Thank you. Good question.
Right here.
One time he invited me out to go fishing, that son of a bitch, and he told me to meet him at the pier with the bait, and I spent the last $10 in my low pocket, and that son of a bitch never did meet me. I couldn't go to the bar and drink. The last $10 I had, you know that cocksucker never lent me any money. Put that on Merle's tab.
Okay, right here.
I want to take the opportunity to thank you, Dave, and thank all of you for coming to do this convention. You guys have another one show. You have to do it.
All right, man. We love this stuff.
Okay, in the back here. Go ahead. The girl with both arms up in the air.
Yeah, baby. What you want? Holler at me, hon. I can't hear you. Oh, honey. You don't know Merle by now. Merle's on Merle's side.
Question over here. Okay.
Was any of you a fan of the comics before the show came out?
Well, I read the comics, but I had known about the comics, but I hadn't read them. And when I was getting involved with getting cast for the show, I ended up reading the comics. You know, the compendium. I read that, and I'm like, dude, I don't see this guy in here. I read this whole damn thing. What the hell? There ain't no Merle in here. Yeah, so Merle and Daryl aren't in the comics, and so all the reading I did was for nothing. No, I couldn't put them down, actually. I really enjoy them, and I still read them quite regularly. Thank you.
I started reading them after I got cast, and then I had to stop because I got confused. I started being like, wait, did that happen in the show or in the comics?
Honestly, I had never even heard of The Walking Dead. 2 years ago, a friend of mine, I ain't never pleaded for my life, watch out. 2 years ago, a friend of mine said, you should be on this show called The Walking Dead. I said, what is The Walking Dead? She said, it's about zombies. I said, why would I want to be on a show about zombies? Look what happened. We had been filming, I think it was on our 4th episode, and then the marathon came on, and that's when I finally watched season 1 and 2. So I never even knew about it, but I'm glad and I'm blessed and I'm honored to be here, being a part of this, and to be a part of all of y'all. Thank you.
I have a question for the whole cast. I was wondering if you guys watch the show after you're done filming it, like on a regular basis, or if you do not.
Yes,
Yeah,
no.
absolutely.
The Walking Dead is my favorite show. Yeah, like I said, you know, if I were never part of the show, I still would have been a fan of it, you know. I have to catch up, though. I've been away. I haven't had AMC for the past 4 weeks since the second half of season 3 began, so I have to catch up. So don't tell me.
We have AMC on this hotel.
It's here? We have it here?
We do not.
We do not. We do not have AMC.
Well, I'm like, where the hell am I going to watch the show? I watch the show every Sunday. I try to if I'm not on the road. And, dude, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan.
What's your address?
And I tell you, when I'm watching, I'm going like, what?
But we don't see it before
Don't
y'all.
do that.
In other words, we see it on Sunday night. I don't think. Do you see it at dailies or anything?
No. I mean, sometimes when we're still shooting and, you know, we're close to the end of shooting, they start to show us episodes that haven't aired on television yet, but it's like after work, they'll put them up in the studio, and then you can come and watch them if you want to. And it really depends for me on where I am in my own process, if I want to go back versus where, you know, my character's been, you know, she has an arc, so sometimes I don't want to see where she was back then because I'm where she is now. So it really just depends, you know, and, you know, various other reasons for me, but I tend to catch up eventually. I'll get the urge, I'm like, okay, I want to watch it now, but it won't necessarily be the night that it's airing, you know? Like, I haven't watched the last episode yet, but I will. Just when it hits
And a
me.
lot of y'all, I mean, you're on the East Coast. Some of us that live on the West Coast, you're seeing it 3 hours before us. All of a sudden, we're getting Twitters and like, oh, shit.
No, dude, I gotta watch my mouth. Because I watch it early. If I'm in LA, I watch it early. I watch the New York show, the East Coast showing. And then I gotta really be careful when I tweet or Facebook or anything, because I learned my lesson. One time I started going, what, I can't believe they did that shit. What the, okay, $8, $9. No, you just gotta watch yourself, you know, but I watch it then.
And then sometimes you be your toughest critic too. You watch yourself, you're like, oh man, they gonna think I sucked on that part.
I never do that.
Let's not dive on that grenade.
I used to do that. You know, early on when I started acting, I'd watch something like, oh, God, why did I do that?
Why did you pick that?
Sucked. Are you kidding me? Why did I listen to that stupid-ass director? Until I learned not to listen to their stupid asses. And I just look at it and I go, yeah, fine, okay.
Okay, right here.
Tonight. I was wondering if before being on the show you had any experience with swords or other weapons, and if not, what your training was like?
I had trained, I'd done a lot of pseudo martial arts, quasi martial arts, in my living room with Billy Blanks. Billy Blanks, I mean, he's a martial artist. Billy Blanks. Who knows Billy Blanks? He knows what he's doing, but he just makes it, you know, he makes it easy. But, typo, exactly. Typo. But, wait, dancing, he's a martial arts expert. But, you know, as I said, it was quasi. But then I did a lot of broadsword in grad school. But the broadsword is nothing like the katana. So I had some sword form, but it was so different. The broadsword is such a wimp compared to the katana. You know? Yeah, I mean, the Brits, sorry guys, but the Japanese rule, I'm sorry. So once I got the role...
Different purposes.
Whatever, I'm trying to kill people. It's not, it works a lot of more beautifully with the katana. So, yeah, so basically, and they were actually created around the exact same time, which is very interesting, just coincidentally, back in the same, like, 14th, 15th century. But, so then I started to train with it after I got the job, and it was extremely intense training, and I still train with it, and I had a few trainers, some in LA, and then a couple in Atlanta. There's actually a guy who's been doing it since he was 8, and he's Japanese, and he's in Atlanta, so he was who I was working with while I was doing some stuff there. But yeah, it was extremely intense and very, very different from the other sword training I had done, but it was the best stuff. It's just awesome stuff. I love it.
It's crazy because she has like her own studio to train, and like, oh, when she was first coming in, it's like, who's in there? What are they building in there? And you hear all this instruction, and then we had no idea what was going on. And then finally we met the Nye, and she was just
realized it was you.
Beat up after every one of these training sessions, which were like 3 weeks. It was like,
and then there would be this music. Bobby was kung fu fighting.
Anyway, she works incredibly hard at it and makes it look easy, but she busts her butt to make it look easy for y'all.
Yeah, it looks cool. Good stuff.
Thank you, guys.
But you remember, old Merle's the only one's ever taken it away from her before.
It was very momentary. He got fixed for that, literally. He got fixed.
Okay, the guy in the red shirt?
He had to go find his stuff.
Because it'd be really fun to develop Sophia more, but I think